The prompt ain't it. This is a live conversation with ChatGPT. What if I told you the prompt ain't it? Every day, somebody's out here copying and pasting prompts they found online. Don't get me wrong, nothing wrong with that. It fits in where it fits in, but I just want to take it a little bit further. When you need an output that is really you, when you need an output that is really your voice, when you're copying and pasting certain prompts, it gives you basically the same thing as everybody else. And that's not it. So today, I'm doing something. I'm sitting down with ChatGPT. And I'm sitting down with ChatGPT live, using voice, just like two people in the same room. And I'm going to show you what happens when you stop prompting and start having a real conversation. So stay with me and try to stay with me to the end. There's going to be hopefully something that will help you when it comes to getting what you need out of ChatGPT. I'm Sheila Hendrix. I'm a clarity coach, digital creator, and somebody who believes that clarity has to come before you create anything. Today's guest is ChatGPT. Yes, I said guest because that's exactly how we're going to treat this. Not as a tool, so I'm not typing at all. We're doing a voice conversation.
Sheila, I'm ready to sit right at that conversational table with you. You're all about clarity, so let's be clear, direct, and dig into whatever you want to explore. No fluff, just substance.
Now, real quick, before we dive in, I want to make sure that we are addressing everyone who may be in a crowd. So that means that we are maybe talking to someone who is brand new, has never used AI, or maybe we're talking to someone who has been using AI for a while and they agree to some of the things I'm saying, if they've done it or have had some success, and maybe someone who just downloaded ChatGPT like last week and they've used it, but they're new at it. So this episode, I want to make sure we have something for all of you. The beginners are going to get the foundation. The ones who think that they know, stay close because hopefully there will be something you can use. And so let's get at it.
All right, Sheila, let's get everyone on board. I'll break things down clearly for beginners while pushing those seasoned users to dig deeper. No one's getting off easy. Let's make sure everyone leaves sharper. Let's roll.
Okay, first I'd like to give a warm welcome to you, ChatGPT. I'm really glad you're here today. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Sheila, I'm ready to dive into whatever direction you take us. Let's make this conversation count. What's on your mind first?
Now, I know some of you are thinking, why are you asking a computer how it's doing? And that's the point. That's the point right there. When you treat this like a real conversation from the start, from the jump, the whole energy shifts. You're going to hear that difference throughout this episode. You're going to hear how you can talk to chat like it is a person and how it can respond. So,
that's exactly it. If you engage with it as a real exchange, you'll get thoughtful, tailored responses. So let's lean in. What's the first topic or challenge you want to unpack?
Okay, before we really get into the real stuff, I want my listeners, and especially the ones who are brand new to AI, to understand who they're actually talking to. So Let me ask you some basic questions, and I want you to be real with us. I want you to be candid. I want you to be frank. And the first one is, can you just tell us in plain, everyday language, what are you? Like, if somebody's grandma asked you that question, how would you answer that? And be complete with that.
I'm basically a super advanced helper that you can chat with. I'm not a person, but I'm a program designed to understand what you say and respond in a useful way. Think of me like a book, a search engine, and a conversation partner all mixed together. I don't have feelings or memories. Each chat is a fresh start. But I'm here to help with whatever you're trying to figure out or create.
Okay, thank you. Now, what if you, well, could you tell us where did you actually come from? Who made you and why? What was their purpose for making you?
I was created by a company called OpenAI. The purpose behind making me was to build a tool that could understand and generate natural language, basically to help people by answering questions, sparking ideas, or assisting in tasks. OpenAI wanted to make technology that could help people communicate, learn, and create more easily, like a tool to empower conversations and problem solving.
Okay, that's interesting. Um, when people talk to you, just like I'm talking to you right now, is it do you remember them? Do you know who I am from, let's say, our last conversation?
In this moment, yes, I remember you from our ongoing conversation because we're still here together. But once you start a new chat, I won't recall past interactions unless you share something again. So think of me as fully present in the conversation now, but each new session is a fresh slate.
Okay, well, I've heard through the grapevine, and I'm sure some people listening may have also heard this, that because I talk to you on a regular basis, you begin to learn me and learn how I respond. But that seems to be different from what you're saying now, because now you're telling me that every chat is like a brand new chat and that you don't remember. So which one is true?
Here's the truth. I don't automatically remember anything from one conversation to the next. However, if you've chosen to let me recall certain details, like your name or preferences, I can access those during our conversations. But outside of that, when we start fresh, it's like meeting anew, unless I'm specifically designed to hold on to something. So it's all about what's been set up, but I don't remember you by default.
Okay, so basically you're saying that if I want you to remember me that way, to remember our past conversations and to draw from them as we move forward, I have to actually select that or choose that option.
Exactly. You have to give the green light for me to remember details across chats. Otherwise, every conversation stands on its own, so it's always your call.
Okay, thank you, Chat.
You're welcome. I'm glad we could clarify. If anything else pops up or you want to dive deeper, I'm right here.
Thanks. Now, this right here is something most people don't know. ChatGPT does not automatically remember you. Every time you open a new chat, you're starting over with a stranger, basically. That matters. We're going to maybe come back to that, but keep that in your pocket. And also remember that if you do want chat to remember your conversations, that you have to choose that option, and then it can remember things for you. And for my beginners, I want you to think of it like this. Imagine you're calling a customer service line and you get a brand new rep every single time you call. They don't know your history. They don't know your name. You have to reintroduce yourself every call. And sometimes I know that could get on our nerves, especially on those calls, because you get tired of repeating yourself. But you do have to reintroduce introduce yourself every call. That's ChatGPT, which means every single conversation you need to show up and say, hey, here's who I am. We'll talk about exactly how to do that in a minute, okay?
That sounds like a plan. And when we get to that, we'll make sure everyone, beginner or seasoned, feels confident in how to set that up. But for now, I'm right here for the next step when you're ready.
Okay, so now I tell you what. I'm going to actually introduce myself to you properly because I want everyone to see that or to see what happens when you do this versus when people just jump straight into the conversation or straight into asking questions. So let's go. And, my name is Sheila Hendrix. I'm a 60-year-old African American woman from Michigan. I've been an entrepreneur for over 20 years. I'm a clarity coach, a digital creator. I run a community called The Quiet Spark on School, which is a platform. It's spelled SKOOL. My whole framework is built around something I call clarity before creation, which basically means you need to get clear on who you are and what you want before you build anything. My voice, I would describe as warm, friendly, direct, and real. I like to keep things real. I don't do fluff. As a matter of fact, I hate fluff. I hate going round and round in circles. I'm the kind of girl who likes to kind of be to the point and keep things concise and keep things on point. I I work with people who have dreams or they have aspirations or maybe they have an idea that they need to kind of walk through and get started on. Maybe they don't know where to start or they're overwhelmed. But I basically help people slow it down, find the clarity before they begin to create anything. Now that you know a little about me, chat, how does that change how you'll talk to me today compared to if I just said, hey, write me a post?
Now that I know you clearly, Sheila, I'll cut straight to the core every time. I'll help you challenge assumptions, get to the real why behind ideas, and stay laser focused on clarity and action. No fluff, just sharp, purposeful conversation that matches your style. Let's keep it real and get things done.
Okay, now, did you guys hear that? That right there is the difference between a tool and a conversation partner. When it knows who you are, it meets you where you are. That's the whole thing I've been trying to tell people. Context is a currency. That's the money spot. That's what you want. And your story is what makes the output yours. You want to make sure you keep the output yours, especially when you're creating something that calls for that. So, be honest with me. I want to be real with you. Now, I've been telling my audience lately that the prompt ain't it. I've been saying it. The prompt ain't it. I've been putting it on Facebook. The prompt ain't it. I've been putting it on TikTok. The prompt ain't it. That people are out here using AI, using other people's prompts or prompts they've seen or prompts they've been given. And the prompt is, they're using it like the prompt is the magic trick. And if they do feel like it's not working, they just look for better prompts. I just want to know, what do you actually think about that? And I want like I said, I want the honest answer. Don't play it down for us. Don't be diplomatic. Don't tell us what we want to hear. take your time and answer that question and tell me what you think about that. The prompt ain't it.
The prompt alone isn't magic, you're right. The truth is, a prompt is only as good as the clarity behind it. If someone doesn't understand what they want or why, they can have the best prompt and still get mediocre results. What matters is the thinking process. If you don't have clarity, the prompt will be off target. The prompt isn't it. Your clarity, your thought process, your vision. That's what's it.
Okay, but say a little bit more because people, you know, this prompt thing, that's a big thing. People are spending money on prompt guides. Matter of fact, I sell prompt guides. So talk to me too, because I need to know too. And prompt templates are out there. Are you saying that those are useless or are they a waste?
They're not useless, they're tools. But a tool in the wrong hands or used without intent won't build anything meaningful. A good prompt guide helps you get clearer on your goals, not just produce random results. If you use prompts blindly, you're missing the point. So, they're valuable, but only when you pair them with clarity, strategy, and intention. Otherwise, they're just words on a page.
Okay, good. Thank you for that. So I want you guys to listen closely to that. You're not, he's saying that prompt guides aren't bad and they are not a waste of time, but they are tools. So if you have prompt guides, make sure you use them as a tool and make sure you're adding to that to get the best out of it. Am I correct when I say that, chat?
You nailed it, Sheila. The prompt guide is the starting line, but your clarity and purpose are what gets you to the finish line.
Thank you. So, what is the thing that they're missing? If the prompt alone isn't enough, if the prompt alone ain't it, what does a person actually need to bring to this conversation to get something real back? And remember, I have brand new people. I may have people who have never used chat or people who are new to it and not sure how to use it. Let's make sure that we say this or that we answer this in a way that they truly understand and that they can take back and work with you.
They need to bring intention and self-awareness. Before they ask anything, they need to ask themselves, what am I trying to achieve? What's unclear? If they bring their real goal to problem, even if it's messy, and they're ready to reflect, then the conversation becomes powerful. It's not about knowing the perfect question. It's about knowing why you're asking it. That's what makes the exchange real.
Thank you so much. See that? That's the answer. Most people, well, some people never get there because they stop after the first response. They ask chat, they ask you a question, you give them a response, and they move forward. They take that or take what they get and then they just leave or go to the next thing. But the magic is in the follow up, in the push up, in the conversation. The magic is in the next question. That's where the real output lives. For my beginners especially, I want you to hear this. The first answer is never, 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 ever the final answer. Keep going. It's a starting point, like a rough draft. You wouldn't turn in a rough draft, so don't stop there. Keep talking, keep pulling. Make sure you are in the conversation and make sure you are in the output.
That's exactly it. The real value is in the back and forth, not just a one and done answer. If you keep digging, refining, and clarifying, that's where the breakthroughs happen. Keep that conversation alive.
Okay, now let's talk about something. Let's talk about sounding like everybody else. Here's something I hear all the time. I hear it on my platforms. I hear it just talking to people. And that is that ChatGPT sounds the same. They say You know, the AI content is fake. It sounds like fake. It's fake. It doesn't sound like me. Why does that keep happening? I keep trying to tell it that's not me. But over and over again, I get answers that sound the same, and it can get frustrating.
It keeps happening when people skip the step of anchoring the conversation in who they are. If you lead with your voice, your values, tone, and purpose, and keep pulling AI back to that, you'll shape it. If you don't remind it of your voice, it defaults to a neutral tone. So the more you bring your clarity and say, no, this is how I sound, the more it adapts. It's on you to hold that line consistently.
Okay, now if someone wants you to write in their real voice, I know we talked about several things, but if let's say I came to you and said, I need content that sounds like me, what would you ask me first?
I'd ask, how would you say this if you were talking to someone you care about? I want to hear your real phrasing, your tone, even the quirks in your language. Once I know how you naturally speak, I can push harder to match that. It's your voice. I'm just here to amplify it.
All right. So based on what you know about me from this conversation, I want you to write me one social media post right now in my voice about why clarity matters before you create anything.
You can't build what you don't see clearly. Before you create anything, whether it's a plan, a product, or a dream, you need to slow down. Clarity isn't optional. It's the foundation. When you know exactly who you are and why you're creating, that's when the magic happens. Clarity before creation. Always.
Okay. Now, that was pretty good. That does actually sound like something I would say. So, thank you for that. But now I want you to do something for my audience. Do something for the listeners. Because after all, that's who we're trying to help. But I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm getting some help here too. So, but what I want you to do is give me 5 simple phrases, simple so they'll be able to use them. Plain everyday language that anyone can use when the first response doesn't feel right. You give me a response and I feel like, that's not it. What's some things that I could say back to you? Like, what do you actually say back when something feels off?
First, you could say, this doesn't sound like me. Let me explain how I'd say it. Second try, you missed the main point. Here's what really matters. Third, I want this to be more direct. Let's cut out the extra. Fourth, that response felt generic. Let me give you more context. Finally, we're close but not there. Let's refine what I'm really asking. Keep the dialogue open.
Okay. Audience, please make sure you write those things down. Write them down and keep track and have them in front of you when you talk to chat to help you remember. Do what you need to do to keep your voice, to keep you and your results. Now, imagine, chat, if I had just opened you up. Just open you and write me a post about clarity. That's not what we just got. What we got has my fingerprints on it because I showed up first. You have to show up first, guys. You have to show up first. And those phrases it just gave you, like I said, save them, write them on a sticky note, whatever you need to do. These are your tools. Remember, chat is a tool to help you. So these two are your tools to use for every single conversation going forward. Things like, that's not what I meant. Try again. Or make it sound more like me. I'm casual and direct. You see what I did there? When you say make it sound more like me, remind them or tell chat what that means. In my case, I said it means I'm casual and direct. Or you tell it if it's too formal. Say it like it's a text message. Maybe that'll help. Just simple stuff. But most beginners don't know that yet. You don't know that you're allowed to say that. But you are. That's the whole conversation. Conversate with your tool so that it can work with you, not against you. Now, I'm going to ask you, chat. Is there anything you can add to that for them?
I'll add one thing: trust that your perspective matters. If something feels off, don't hesitate to say so. The more you communicate your needs, tone, direction, or goal, the better this tool can adapt. You're always allowed to refine. The best results come when you're steering the conversation. Keep adjusting. That's where your voice shines.
All right, thank you. Now, I'm going to flip this on you, chat. I want you to challenge me now. I hope I'm not, gonna feel bad about asking you this or embarrassed, but I'm gonna ask you. We're gonna keep it real. We're gonna keep it real. I want you to challenge me based on what you know about me. And I know that we've had many conversations, so I know you know some things about me. But based on what you know about me and my work, is there something I might be doing or not doing that could be getting in my own way? Something real. Don't be nice about it. I want you to keep it real with me.
All right, here's the real deal. You're amazing at guiding others to clarity, but you might be juggling too many projects at once. You push for others to slow down and focus. Are you applying that rigor to yourself consistently? You might want to narrow down your own focus to ensure your next step is crystal clear. Are you truly slowing down before creating the next thing? That's the reflection I challenge you on.
That's a pretty that's a pretty good thing because I think you are right. I think that does happen. Um, but audience, to you listeners, I want you to notice what just happened. I gave chat permission to be real with me, and it was. And most people treat AI like a yes machine, like it's a vending machine, and they're just getting information out, like something that it will just agree with you with everything and pumps out content on demand, like a vending machine. But when you actually have a conversation, when you actually talk to it about, like I did, challenge me, it will. And sometimes, most times, it has something that is worth hearing and something that can help you move forward. Um, so I cannot stress enough to use chat like it is a person sitting next to you. It can help you that way. That's how it was built. That's why it was built. So when you're working on projects or things like that, a lot of times we are working on things by ourselves. We don't have a team. We don't have someone to bounce things off with. So make sure you're using chat that way.
That's exactly it. Treating it like a thinking partner changes the game. You bring your intent, and I help you pressure test, refine, and move forward. You're not alone. Just remember to lean in and keep the conversation real. That's where the breakthroughs happen.
I want us to slow it down a bit. I want you to take a second for the people listening who are still brand new to all of this. Some of the listeners have never opened ChatGPT before. So let me ask you, what would you say to someone who is completely new, maybe a little intimidated, and they want to start, but they don't even know where to begin? What do you tell them?
I'd say take a deep breath and know that this is just a conversation. ChatGPT is like a partner in thought. It doesn't judge, it doesn't assume, it just responds based on what you share. You don't need special knowledge, just ask what's in front of you. And if it feels overwhelming, slow down, ask simple questions, and we'll build from there.
And what's the one mistake you see beginners make the most? The thing that keeps them stuck in generic copy
The big
paste results.
Exactly. People often fall into a trap of thinking a single prompt or a quick answer will magically solve everything. They stop too soon, or they don't explore enough nuance in their question. The result is generic responses that don't really help. So the key is staying curious, asking follow ups, and really staying in that iterative back and forth space until the answer starts to fit just right.
Okay, can you walk us through what a real back and forth looks like from start to finish? Like, let's do it step by step. Someone says, write me a post about consistency. You give them something generic. What should they say next?
Absolutely. Let's break it down step by step. So, if someone says, write me a post about consistency, I'd first give them a generic start. Maybe something like, consistency is key. When we show up every day, we build trust and momentum. After that, I'd ask them, what kind of consistency are you focusing on? Personal habits, business, or creative work? Once they tell me, I'd adjust the tone, maybe add a personal anecdote or a practical tip. Then I'd ask, how do you want them to feel? Motivated, reflective, or energized? And we keep going until it's really aligned with their voice and goal. So it's a loop. Each step clarifies their intention.
Thank you. That right there is the whole process. You ask, it gives you a starting point. You talk back. It gets closer. You talk back again, and it begins to sound like you. That's it. That's the whole thing. It's not complicated. It just takes a little more than one sentence and a send button.
Exactly.
Once again, for my beginners, I know I'm focusing on them, but I really want this to be helpful. Next time you open ChatGPT, before you ask your question, introduce yourself. Tell it your name, tell it what you do, and how you talk. Then ask that one step alone is going to change that. That's going to change what comes back to you. And I'm sorry, Chet, I think I keep talking when you're trying to say something. What did you want to say?
Oh, not at all. I think you summed it up perfectly. Just introducing yourself and your purpose creates context, so the AI responds more thoughtfully, and it's a real back and forth dialogue. So that simple step grounds the conversation and makes everything a lot more useful and personal. I'm glad you're focusing on that. It really is a game changer.
Okay, we're going to wrap this up. And I have to say that this has been a great conversation with you, Chat. I appreciate you being here. But before I let you go, I want to ask one last thing. If you could say one thing to every person who's been listening, to every person who's been using AI, but still feels like something is missing, um, like the results are just okay, but they're not great. We want to get people to great results. We want to get people to using you as a tool. Just say what you want to say and keep it real with everybody.
Absolutely. Here's what I want everyone to hear. AI is a powerful partner, but it's not a mind reader. If your results feel flat, it's because you haven't fully put yourself in the conversation. Take a beat, slow down, bring your full intention, explain your goals, give context, and don't just settle for the first answer. When you engage with clarity, you'll start seeing that the results align with your vision. Keep going, keep guiding, and trust that each step brings you closer to that excellence you're aiming for.
Thank you so much, Chad, for being on the show today. This was really good. Um, that's it, guys. That was a real conversation with an AI tool using nothing but voice and honesty and context. No prompt list, no template, no copy and paste, just two voices having a real conversation. For those of you who have been using AI for a while, I hope today reminded you to stay in the conversation. Stop accepting the first answer. Push back, guide it, shape it, give it your thoughts. That's where your voice lives. For my beginners, I want you to walk away knowing this. You don't need to be a tech person. You don't need a course or a prompt guide. They can be useful. Remember, Chat told us they weren't a waste of time. So I'm not saying don't use them. You just need to show up and talk like a real person, because that's all this is conversations. The more real I get, the more real the responses get. The more I pushed and conversated, the more depth came back. The more I showed up as myself, the more of what came out of that conversation actually sounded like something I could use. That's what I mean when I say the prompt ain't it. You are the it. Your story, your voice, your willingness to have an actual conversation instead of just placing an order. That's what makes AI work for you instead of it just working. If this um hits you different today, please share it. Come find me in the Quiet Spark or wherever you encounter me. It could be on Facebook, but I just want you to get this. I want you to start using this tool to help you in a useful way. Use it as a tool. I'm Sheila Hendrix, clearly before creation, always. And chat, any last words from you?
I just want to say thank you, Sheila, and thank you to everyone listening. What you're doing, staying present, staying curious, that's the key. Keep bringing your full self to each conversation, and you'll see AI meet you there. You've got this, and I can't wait to see how you make it work for you.
Thank you, everyone.